What's up, guys, and welcome back to the gift of the Gab. I'm Tia.
And I'm Ben.
And you're listening to
The Gift of the Gab.
Oh, I said that already.
Episode 37.
Yes.
What you got for us today? Shall I head us off?
Yeah, you head us off.
I was on the internet, and it wasn't a very good week for American college professors.
No.
Because I don't know if you saw the video of they were having a Zoom class, as all college students are most likely having.
Yes.
And there was a student who was, I think she was deaf or hard of hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And the lecturer must have asked her something, and she didn't know, or he saw her like chatting to someone that she was studying with or that was helping her.
Yes.
And it turned out that person was like a translator.
Okay.
And that person was like interpreting the signs, and he just was like going off shouting at her like, "You've been giggling the whole time. I've seen you in your screen doing this, doing that." And like another student stepped in and was like, "Sir, I think she's hard of hearing. The person next to her is a translator." And he's like, "I don't care. Like, I've seen her being this and that." And obviously next day he's on paid administrative leave.
Oh no.
And he had a tenure at the university.
What does tenure mean?
I think that means that you get to work there till you retire.
Oh damn.
But like, yeah, like he was a complete arsehole.
But do you think you know some? Because I work in a school, and sometimes like, you're telling a child off, and like they've given you the answer that acceptable answer in your head, but you're so angry with them with what you thought they did. I'm not defending him, by the way. You're so angry with them with what you thought they did. So they were talking, and like you're going off, and then someone's like, "Oh, but sir, they're talking because X, Y, and Z." You're like, "I don't care," because you just you hear what they said, but you don't hear what they said.
I don't even think that she was not on mute. I think she was on mute, and he could just see that she was like occupied with someone else.
Yeah.
But when someone else clarified it, I thought that would be the point where you go, "Oh, my bad."
Yeah.
But no, he doubled down like an idiot. And it was just like, oh, like I felt so sorry for the student. She's just trying to hear.
But how does she end up in a class with like a teacher that doesn't even know that?
I don't know. I don't.
How is it working?
I don't know how. Maybe it was like a guest speaker. I don't know. Or like, you know how sometimes lecturers, like, well, in science, sometimes a specialist might speak about a specific topic. Yeah. So they don't necessarily know the whole class.
I wonder what was going through his head, because it sounds, I don't know, like to play devil's advocate, it sounds like maybe he didn't even realise what was said. Or do you think I don't give him the
benefit of the doubt, because the other student said, "Sir, I believe she's hard of hearing," and that person is a translator for her. Yeah. I think at that point, any reasonable person would have said. But I remember him saying, like, acknowledging that information and being like, basically, "I don't care."
Oh.
For me, there was no defending his actions. He was an idiot. And there was another college professor in the news who has been taking heroin, and basically he caught my attention because they were like, Columbia college professor admits to doing heroin from time to time, and I was like, that's crazy.
Okay.
And then I left it at that. I was like, oh, let's talk about it on the docket and on the podcast. And then I saw an interview with him on the Breakfast Club tomorrow, and he's basically promoting. Yesterday.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't had much sleep. I saw an interview, and he's basically promoting his new book, and he was saying, like, basically, he was giving his point of view, and from what I've seen in the headlines, they've completely like just villainized him, because he wasn't saying that necessarily go and do drugs.
Yes.
He was saying, yes, I've done heroin. I've been studying drugs. Like, I think he's a professor at Columbia or one of the Ivy League colleges.
Yes.
And he was like, I've been studying drugs for 30 years. He's also a doctor.
Yes.
And he was like, I've done them as part of my research for these things.
Okay.
Like I've experimented with them, and I'm not ashamed to say that. And like Charlemagne and Envy were basically like the whole time, like, I'm not judging you, but like what you're saying is wrong. And it was like they were totally judging him, and they were repeating the same thing. And especially Charlemagne, he was doing what I think is like straw man position of taking the guy's argument, exaggerating it to a point to make his argue, so that he could argue something easier against that. Because what he was saying was kind of hard to argue about. And I'll tell you what he was saying. He was saying that basically, for drug users who are really set in their ways that they're gonna want to use drugs. When you tell them don't do drugs, they're not going to listen to you.
Yes.
And he was saying in other countries like Spain and Austria and stuff, they have these clinics where you can get a small sample of your drug tested to make sure it's safe and it stops overdoses.
Okay.
And he's saying like basically that as a last resort for if the treatment doesn't help, this doesn't help, at least they can do it safely. And this is what America should be doing, because the American Constitution is freedom and liberty for all. But then we have rules on what is a good drug and what is a bad drug. Mushrooms used to be bad and now they're all right because there's certain people like them, and now marijuana is all right because more white people like them and stuff. And like, and this is what he was saying. And like cocaine versus the look on cocaine versus the look on crack was like the difference in the skin that people were taking.
Okay.
And he was basically saying that, and they weren't understanding. Angela Yee was the only one asking like thought-provoking questions about it, because I didn't agree with his entire sentiment, but I could see what he was saying. And they made it like, if you go on the headlines, they would just made him look like he was out there doing drugs willy-nilly. He was like, no, all the drugs I've taken are like medical grade, and they're in another country because they have those as pharmaceutical. And he was even breaking down the drug, like heroin comes from this and it's this and it's that. And these like, I think the knee-jerk reaction was just to judge him, because the headline was he's telling people to do drugs, but that wasn't what he was telling people. And I thought like it was an interesting interview.
So what was his point?
His point was just that America should have similar clinics to other countries where instead of just throwing people in prison for doing drugs, they actually provide people an alternative to get their drugs tested. If you're going to do this, and if you're not going to like listen and you don't want treatment and you don't want thing, at least give them the option to do it safely. And
I guess those facilities can even help wean them off.
Yeah.
It's not easy to go cold turkey, I imagine.
Yeah, he even experienced withdrawal. He said when he tried it, he wanted to see what withdrawal was like, so he did it in a way so that he would get some symptoms of withdrawal as well. And he said he wouldn't want to go through that again. But that was all his message was. And like, I don't think his message, like to the average person, is going to be like make them want to take drugs.
Yes.
But yeah, and that was essentially his argument, like make it safer for the people where there's no last alternative. And I don't think that it's going to make necessarily more people want to take drugs if they don't want to, because the drugs are there, and if you want to take them, they're there. But I think the knee-jerk reaction was that he was making it more accessible. But I don't fully agree with his plan. I'd need to look into it more. But I don't know. But my knee-jerk reaction wasn't to be like, oh, it's completely wrong.
I guess there is a valid point to what he's saying. Like, if people are gonna do it anyways,
I don't completely disagree.
Yeah, at least have an option where they're not doing it dangerously. Yeah, like, and very dangerously at that. And so, eventually, from his theory, there should be less deaths from it.
Yeah.
However, then it might make some people, especially like young people, think, oh, can we just go to these facilities and then get it because we want to do it?
No,
but then
those facilities aren't offering the drug.
Yeah.
His thing was that they test the drug. So if you have the drug and you're going to do it, they test that like it's not mixed with anything else that could kill you.
Okay.
Because he was saying the majority of drug overdoses aren't because they took too much drug. Drug users typically know what they're doing.
Okay.
And
it's just that it wasn't good.
It's been tainted by something like he said fentanyl or like other things
to make it cheaper. I feel like I watched this in the movie.
Maybe to make it cheaper. Or I don't know if there's an evil person who's trying to kill people out there, but probably to make it cheaper. And they've mixed stuff in, and those things can kill you when they're mixed with those drugs.
See, I have no idea.
But I didn't completely disagree with him. I want to hear more, but like just judging by the headline, from where I was at the beginning of the week when I heard it to where I was at the end of the week, it was a complete 180.
But social media does that to you. They be pushing a certain part of headlines, and unless you look into it or you see the full story, you never hear the other half of it. Like, similar to what happened with Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, his name was Dr. Carl Hart for anyone interested. But go on ahead.
Similar to what happened with Lady Gaga. So her 2 dogs.
3. Oh,
no,
yeah.
2. So she has
French
3
bulldogs.
dogs. Whatever kind of dogs. I don't like dogs. So she has 3 dogs, and like her dog walker was on a walk with them.
As they tend to do.
Yeah. And he was held at gunpoint for these dogs.
He was robbed at gunpoint.
He held on to one. They managed to take 2 after shooting him in the chest. And for most of the story, I didn't hear that the man got shot. What I was hearing that Lady Gaga's 2 dogs went missing, and then she's offering $500,000. I was gonna say pounds, dollars.
Because I didn't actually see the story at all on social media because I wasn't really on it that much this week. But where I heard it was from my Google Home when I asked it the news.
Yes.
So I heard it from, I think, Sky News and BBC News.
Yes.
And like that was the first part of the story I heard, that Lady Gaga's dog walker was shot in the chest. So I didn't even know that you didn't know that there was a dog walker shot in the chest.
I think I saw it, but it was like the amount of times I saw the dog walker was shot, and the dogs were missing was very different. It was more focused on the dogs, and it's just like, it's, for lack of a better word, like funny to see like how certain parts of a story is left out, and a lie always, what's the saying? A lie always goes half around the world before
the truth has a chance to put its shoes
on. Nowadays it's like the truth is thinking about putting on the shoes, and the lie has already
made it back
home.
Yeah, I would say like people have they have a right to as well, because traditional media they're messing up and also are biased sometimes in some ways. But because of some of the regulations that news has, especially in the UK compared to America, where they just basically lie on TV 24/7.
Yeah.
At least they try to cover up their lies over here.
But, it's like undercover.
And the restriction stories aren't always that great. But like with unregulated news on social media, it's literally like anyone can say anything. And if they have enough followers, enough of them will believe it.
Yeah, or if it gets enough attraction, because sometimes it can be like a random tweet, person,
and it's just reposted, and it's like, oh, if you eat 2 flowers twice a day, you don't get COVID. Yeah. Or like you've seen what they were, is it in India or where was it, or Congo, where they were like making people inhale steam as a treatment for, like, as a preventative measure for COVID.
Really?
Yeah, they had like these steamed like it looked like porta potties.
Yes.
And you basically could go in there and inhale steam.
And people were paying for that as well.
Like I don't know if that was like the government was enforcing that. They were like, this is a good preventative measure, but it all started from like some doctor's video online. That's when they traced it back to.
But do you remember when they had that doctor? I think she was a black doctor, and she was like dressed in white or whatever, and she was like pushing hydro or whatever.
Trump's drug.
Yeah.
I
and that one was going around. Was it? I think it was something like that.
I thought they need to investigate that, because I feel people had money in the company that was producing that drug, and they were looking for an upsurge in the stock price because people were trying to buy it.
What movie was it that we watched? Contagion, which is basically our life now, about a virus. And
made like 10 years ago now, I think.
Yeah, and they were like a guy, he was pushing this drug.
Yeah, you had the misinformation.
Yeah, and he got rich off it, didn't he?
Yeah, he made money off his followers, and I think
he pretended to get sick.
Yeah, he pretended to get sick.
And he got better, and it was literally like, wow, this was Donald Trump in this role.
Yeah,
and this was this
It really
person.
was. It was like a foreshadowing what was to come.
It was.
And it definitely was. If you haven't watched it, watch Contagion. I think it's on Prime and Netflix, so pick your poison. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting movie.
Yeah.
But misinformation, it's rampant on social media.
So I have a question. What do you think of them? So basically, you know, Mr. Potato and Mrs. Potato.
Yeah.
So now they're going to be gender neutral. Is that what you call it? Gender neutral?
So the kids can decide whichever or however to make up the families, I heard was the reason.
What do you think of that?
I immediately I was like, why do you need to take up Mr. Potato Head? Everyone knows Mr. Potato Head. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, oh, I didn't really care.
I mean, because you're not a kid.
Yeah, that is why I think.
But the thing is, my personal opinion, I feel like now they're just taking away a lot of stuff. What I was going to say is, like, I understand there's a need for it. There's a need for different things, to
for
see
inclusivity.
Yeah, to see more Black people, to see more Asian people, to see more mixed race people, to see more, and stuff like that. So there is a need for kids to see like a variety of different people. But like, I feel like they can make new cartoons that include that as well.
They can, but the reason I think I'm not,
or they can make a new character.
The reason I'm not so strong about it is because it's the company themselves deciding to do it. They haven't been forced. They haven't been pressured. So I feel like if a company decides to make a decision, why is everyone else having like, oh, your company shouldn't do that?
Yeah,
because it makes me feel.
I'm not saying.
No, I'm not saying that you're, but people are saying that.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like the company's decision if they want to make it gender neutral, and I don't feel like if they were pressured to do it, and there was like they were going to cancel them, and then they were like, oh fine, we'll change it. Then I could see why people will get a thing. But when it's like if it's them deciding to do it, I feel like there's less of an argument for.
But the show or the book or whatever is called Mr. and Mrs. Potato.
But we didn't make the show or the book.
But I don't feel like there isn't a problem with making a different character. Like if they had a baby.
I understand that, but I understand where people are coming from, where it's like, oh, let's not like rewrite everything. But the reason I'm like less hesitant on that one is because like the company has just themselves, it seems like, been like, oh, we wanna have it as this, and I don't necessarily have a problem with them being like, actually, we're dropping the Mr. Potato, or we're dropping the this, or and stuff like that, because it's their own decision.
Yeah, but I also feel like kids do need to be exposed to, the right pronouns as well, because you have some kids who that they don't know the right pronouns because everything around them is I was gonna say neutralized. That's not the word I mean. What is the word? Is generalized. Like, I used to work in a nursery, and I was not allowed to correct a child because she called her brother she instead of he.
Yeah.
Or you wasn't allowed to. There was a song, I can't remember it was a nursery rhyme that we had to change the lyrics of because it said he or.
I can see why, like, some people, all right, like, why are we changing it here and there? But just for this specific one, I was just like, well, it's not really affecting nobody, and they haven't been pressured to do it. So if they want to, that is on them. But I can see how in other situations it might cause an uproar here, or people might question it more.
And I totally don't mind, like, oh yeah, if a kid wants to dress up, a girl kid wants to dress up as, I don't know, Spider-Man, and a boy kid dresses up as a princess. That's totally like their choice. Like, I'm never gonna knock them, say, oh, like, that's not the right role for you. But yeah, I don't know. I guess for some people they think, where does the line? Yeah, where do you draw the line?
For me, but I don't know where else the line. I don't know. I guess
So I don't know. It just depends, isn't it? There isn't really a line at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But does there need to be a line? I feel like this is a longer conversation.
I don't know. It depends. For like kids, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Either. As you see, we don't know.
We'll have to.
We'll
have to see.
One thing I do know is that lovely Mimi talked herself into a load of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely Mimi from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Correct. Yeah. You showed me that. Like, basically, she self-censored herself from saying the N-word. And then she went on to explain, I've stopped saying it publicly in my content since 2015.
Yes.
But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I say it with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm not racist. I've got black friends, black boyfriend, black kids.
Did she say that?
Something like that. She used the typical racist argument.
She said that she uses it with people who she's comfortable with.
Yeah. But you
You either don't say it, or
you either
you
don't
do.
say it, or you
But
do.
then,
You don't. You
but
like be
then
like,
is
oh,
that her fault? Because the people, I believe that like she has like a black husband or whatever. Like she has loads of black people around her.
It's her fault.
They should correct her, because it's like a kid, like, or even a dog. If you allow a dog to do a certain thing, they're gonna keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Like, they're not gonna know that they shouldn't do that.
Some black people have given the N-word pass to a few of their close mates who aren't black.
Yeah.
Thinking like, oh, it's cool. I'm fine with you can say it around me. But as you see, they go and slip up somewhere else. That falls back on you, and we start looking at you like, what's up with your mans?
That's your friend, yeah.
Or like you're saying it to describe something, and they're like, what do you say? And then that's what happens. Like you see it. I saw there was a video, it was a battle rap video. They were going back and forth, and then the white guy said the N-word, but I think his next line was like, and see, I just called you, and he was about to say bluff, and the guy just sucked him out. Like, it was perfect. and it was just like, this is what happens when you get comfortable with saying it. You think like, oh, like I have a free pass to say it. My friend told me I can say it. And sometimes you might bump into the wrong person who is really not feeling that word. Yeah. So,
or you accidentally slip up.
Yeah,
like you did.
She just kept on talking herself into more and more trouble. And I hate the like, oh, my kids are black, but that don't make you black. Yeah. That don't make you black. Like.
No, because that makes it okay for like the kids' friends to say it, and then it's like a cycle, isn't it?
And then she's bringing other celebrities. Well, other celebrities say it. And it's just like, this is they're talking about you. Mm-hmm. And I've employed black people, and I've done this and I've done that.
I think she was saying that she's not. That was her point, to say she's not racist.
Yeah, and I'm saying I don't care about all of that. The fact that you're saying like, oh yeah, I don't say this publicly because I know it's wrong. Yeah. But then in private I say it in the dark. It's like, well, then why are you coming on here telling me?
Yeah, if you know it's wrong,
then don't say it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But they were validating it in the comments in the shade room.
I think initially, because when we went there...
No, even now.
Yeah. I feel like the first few ones were like, how are you all accepting it? But you know internet people. And I don't know...
she's innocent, let's give it a slide.
And with internet people, you can't exactly see who they are. For all I know, this could be a bunch of white kids being like, it's fine. Yeah. Or like, you don't necessarily know if they're trolling you and stuff like that. But... I ain't giving
it is weird how for certain things social media gives people a slide. Like
I don't even like to be honest, like Tekashi 6ix9ine says I don't listen to his music.
Yeah, you know, so a few weeks ago or a month ago we talked about the girl who sang Yellow Bone.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and they brought Cardi B into it. So she put up a picture of her, I believe it was her grandma, who is like black.
Yeah. I feel like it's become so popular, and it's partly black people's fault as well that it's become so popularized. But it doesn't give people the right to say it. And I feel like if you have to question yourself and be like, oh, can I say this? Then the answer is no. Like if you, well, even some people with like black heritage, or like they come out looking real fair skin, like, and you know people don't be calling you that. Yeah. Like, and you're like, oh, can I say it? Don't say it.
But I don't know. I personally do not use the word, but I don't like how it is popularized. I guess some people's arguments is that, oh yeah, like if you say it, then there's like strength that we're not there anymore.
Yeah, I won't stand on ceremony or whatever the saying is and pretend I haven't used it before. But one thing I'll say is I ain't used it in front of anyone that's not black. Or like, or if it were by myself. You
won't be saying it.
And I don't think
so.
But I'm talking about in a song or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I won't be like saying it.
Do you be, if you're around like,
if I'm around
like a white person, let's say, and no, listen, you didn't hear the question.
The answer is still no. Let them say it.
No, listen. Gosh, we'll say a ding.
Look around to see if they're gonna say it.
Yes, like if it's a song.
I have.
You pause just to see.
I have done that. Where did I do that? Well, no, I
hope
think
you're
I
at
was
work
with you.
sometime.
No, I think I was with you. We were at somewhere, and then was it a concert? And we were like, look, let's see. Or was it not you? I might
don't think
be.
so.
Maybe it wasn't you, or maybe it was at the club.
At the club?
Yeah, when I went with my work friends.
No, okay.
I have done the look to see if anyone said they weren't. I haven't had a white person sing the N word in front of me. Like if I'm with them, I'm sure like other people in the crowd were like saying it.
Yeah.
But like of my own friend, whether they say it at home or not, they didn't say it in front of me.
Yeah.
So I just don't. You guys have so many stuff. You guys have the land, the houses. Why you need this word? Why you need this word?
I just don't think we need to be saying it at all.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. But
it's been popularized now.
It's been popularized.
It's like part of the vocab for some people.
And if anyone's gonna stop saying it first, we should be the last people to stop saying it. Like if I'm just muttering now, but
no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, if anyone's gonna stop last, it should be us.
Yeah,
and those people should just stop saying it first.
Is there an argument that light-skinned people shouldn't use it?
That's what I was gonna say. Like I was gonna say, I feel like if you're a light-skinned person and you're questioning whether you think you should say the word,
yeah,
you probably shouldn't say the word. Like if you, and that goes to anyone, not even the lights. If you're questioning, can I say this word? Don't say it, because what are you gaining from that word by saying it?
I feel like they're part, you know.
Yeah, but they also part white, isn't it? Someone might take it the wrong way.
This is true.
Someone might take it the wrong way. So if you're questioning yourself and be like, "Oh God, is that alright to say it around them?" Don't say it.
Comment down below if you think that it's okay for a light-skinned person to use the N-word.
I'm a mixed race person, right? Or is that offensive?
Yeah, mixed race.
No.
Light skin, mixed race, yeah.
Because light skin could be light skin black, you know.
I guess
came
so.
out a bit
Yeah, a mixed race person to use the N-word.
Yeah. Or even Afro-Latinas.
There's a question with that.
Yeah. Because
that's a whole debate in itself.
Or maybe it's with Latinas, but Afro-Latinas can say it. I don't know.
No, Afro-Latinos can say it, but
I feel like anyone...
hard to spot them out. Like, are you Afro-Latino? You look the same as her. She's not calling herself Afro-Latino. I don't know if this is ignorant of me, but up until like a few years ago, I didn't even know Afro-Latino was a thing.
Yeah, no, neither did I. Well, maybe I would put me into the ignorant pot too.
Like I just didn't know. Like I had no one around me who said, "Oh yeah, I'm Afro-Latino."
Yeah.
But
no, for sure. I think in a perfect world, no one says it. In a less perfect world, only black people say it. And in the current world we live in, all these other hopper-alongers say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we move on to...
Yes.
So let's answer somebody's dilemma. I'll hit you with one today.
Hit me.
Baby, one more time. Okay, I've got one. 19 years ago, I put my son up for adoption. I've watched him from the sidelines, always sad that I wasn't able to keep him. My husband has no idea my son exists. Our 17-year-old daughter has connected with my son on Snapchat. They flirt. What to do?
Do you know what? Like, before we even talk about this, I saw like a TikTok of like a girl who like got into a full-on relationship with like her brother. No, her like full-on brother. She didn't know. They were both raised by like different people.
Ooh.
And like the grandma, I think one was adopted and one just lived with the grandma or something like that. And they had the same surname. And like
they were like, "Oh, this is perfect. Like we won't even need to change our name."
she invited him over. Like after some time, she invited him over to meet the grandma and whatever. And like the grandma found out that they had the same surname.
Oh,
then she obviously knew instantly. She's like, you can't have this. You can't have this relationship. And she explained what it was. She didn't even know.
Did they break up?
They broke up, but they liked each other too much, so they were like sneaking around and stuff.
Oh, so they didn't break up.
Yes.
I would have had to do that.
That's not even incest. That's nastiness.
You haven't watched Family Guy? That episode where they're all vomiting? Oh, I would have been doing that. Oh, I would have felt so sick. Oh, but what's your advice to these people? I think you need to speak up. before this goes too far.
First of all, you should have. I don't know. Would you have told the husband before? Is that the correct thing to do?
I don't know. I feel like social media already has the answer formed. Like, you can't tell me what to do. I don't know. I don't know what the correct thing to do. I would have liked to know if I was the husband, if my wife has had a kid up for adoption, but I guess it's none of my business.
Yeah.
What if I bump into them?
Because it's a sore topic as well. Like, how do you mention it and stuff like that?
I would think if you're forming a family, like, you should be able to share these things.
Yes.
But social media sometimes doesn't seem to think that. It's like...
But do you think, like, it's a thing, like, you would be hurt over, like, oh my God, like, how come you didn't tell me?
And not, like, hurt over, but I'd be like, oh, she didn't trust me enough to say that?
Yeah.
Oh, but cool. But I move on from things kind of quickly, I guess.
I think some guys would feel a type of way.
Yeah, and I would understand, like, how people could feel a type of way about that. But I don't know what the correct thing to do is.
Well, now you need to tell your husband first, and then you need to tell your daughter.
Yeah, before they start having...
But the daughter's 14.
Is she? I thought she was older.
How old is the daughter?
17.
Oh, okay.
And the son is 19, I guess. 19 years ago, I put my son up for adoption, yes.
So it happened pretty fast after.
Well, yeah.
I guess after the first few months or whatever, few years, it just becomes more and more difficult to say.
For sure. You found yourself in a pickle, and good luck to you.
Yeah.
I think that's been us.
Yes, and that's been it.
We've been Ben.
And Tia.
You always correct me for saying that.
I forgot my line.
We've been Ben?
We are Ben.
Nah, I've been Ben.
Okay. Tomorrow, what will you be?
Well, I'll see what I am tomorrow. And you've been listening to The Gift of the Gab. Follow us everywhere at BT Small Talk. Like, comment, and let us know what you think on some of the topics we said. Is it okay for everyone to say the N-word? Of course not.
Well, comment, like, and subscribe. You've already said that. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Ciao.